Tonight, blowing the whistle on animal testing, the allegations against Lawson researchers at St. Joe's, and the concern from animal advocates. Plus, pushing for a name change.
Certainly we were surprised to find out that there was a street in London named after a Nazi.
Jewish advocates and their appeal to City Hall. And finding the balance when building apartments.
We're a bottleneck city and we're hard to grow out of that.
The potential impact in a northeast London neighborhood.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with serious allegations against St. Joseph's Healthcare. A report published by the Investigative Journalism Bureau in partnership with Post Media alleges puppies are being tested and killed for human heart research. Rita Ismail has more and a warning: some viewers may find the content of this story disturbing.
According to an article published in the National Post today by the Investigative Journalism Bureau, researchers inside St. Joseph's Lawson Research Institute studying heart attack recovery in humans are using dogs as stand-ins. Robert Cribb, founder of Investigative Journalism Bureau, spoke to two staffers who allege animal cruelty during the research.
They call it the secret sixth floor, and it's there that they undergo these procedures, which are effectively inducing heart attacks in the dogs to study heart failure and recovery. And they can go on for as long as 3 hours, according to the internal study protocol documents that we looked at.
The program is not something new. Sources tell CTV News it has been ongoing for years, citing a research paper from 2019 showing medical images of canine hearts being used in studies. In a statement to CTV News, St. Joseph's Hospital does not deny research involving canines is being conducted. However, it says the story contains several inaccuracies of fact. It goes on to explain the purpose of the research is to learn more about how to accurately image post-heart attack injury and healing that we cannot yet decipher using other models. The hospital says respect, excellence, and compassion are foundational to their ethical care and treatment of animals in research. However, the whistleblowers allege otherwise.
Through photos and video, they're caged. There appears to be no beds in the cages. There's feces. Post-surgery, they are. There's certainly video and descriptions of high-pitched whining.
Meanwhile, St. Joseph's maintains that they are regulated and guided by rigorous policies and procedures for high-quality animal care by provincial and national bodies. Animal testing is governed by the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Agribusiness. In a statement to CTV News, Press Secretary Spencer Fair says, as reported, this research facility received federal funding for their research, and we expect the federal government to ensure its funding recipients operate ethically, transparently, and in accordance with Ontario law. Animal activists argue there are alternatives to animal experimentation.
We just know that there are serious questions about whether this research is needed or useful, and that non-animal methods are being explored in cutting-edge science around the world. And certainly Canada is falling behind, and St. Joseph's is falling behind.
CTV News reached out to LHSC to see if similar procedures were being used in research. In a statement, the hospital says at London Health Sciences Centre Research Institute, we conduct some studies with mice, rats, and frogs. Some studies also include pigs. Our studies do not involve dogs or any other animals.
Cardiac arrest and heart failure is, of course, an issue that affects millions of Canadians and is vitally important. The debate is over whether we need to kill dogs to do that.
Animal Justice says their main focus continues to be the rehoming of these animals as they continue to urge hospitals to release them. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
CTV News has not been able to independently verify some of the claims made in the IJB report. A prominent human rights organization is demanding City Hall change the name of a local street because of ties to Hitler's Nazi regime. With more, here's Sean Irvin.
This street sign has been posted in an industrial area of southeast London for over 2 decades. Max Bros Drive sits near Bros Canada, one of several industries along the roadway. However, Max Bros himself has a dark past, according to the human rights organization Friends of Simon Wiesenthal Center. The FSWC cites Bros' record with the Nazi regime.
This man was happy to have Jewish and other slaves working in his plant to produce armaments for a genocidal war effort.
On its website, the Bros company contends its founder was determined to be a passive follower of the regime and not a Nazi activist. The center vehemently disagrees, calling him a major supporter of German National Socialism. They further contend the City of London should have known better than to have a street named after Max Bros in the first place. The centre says the sign is fundamentally incompatible with Canadian values and a stain on the nation's good name. It's demanding the mayor's office and city officials take action. In a letter sent to the mayor dated July 31st, the FSWC calls for Max Bros Drive to be renamed. The organization acknowledges it had been unaware of the street until recently.
Certainly, we were surprised to find out that there was a street in London named after a Nazi.
CTV News reached out to the mayor's office for comment. We've been told he had just become aware of the letter and is preparing to review it. The centre hopes that happens quickly.
This is on the property of a government and of a nation that fought the Nazis at great expense, at great cost, and we find this unacceptable.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Good evening. I'm meteorologist Gary Archibald for CTV News. A warm, sunny, humid day and temperatures slightly above seasonal. We did see daytime heating trigger some storms in parts of upper Michigan moving through Manitoulin Island towards Grey Bruce. The Bruce Peninsula tonight still could see some scattered showers. Meanwhile, much of southern Ontario has been quiet in its entirety. Not likely to see any rain tonight or perhaps through the weekend. I'll break down what you need to know just ahead. For now, enjoy mid-20s, feeling like about 30. It's a warm night. The breakdown's coming up. Carlyle?
Thank you, Gary. A new apartment building has been proposed in London's northwest, not only adding housing units to the area, but childcare as well. As Brian Bicknell reports, those are major needs for the neighborhood, but there are questions over road conditions and the added traffic.
This property on Gainsborough Road near Sherwood Forest Mall could soon be the site of the neighborhood's newest apartment. The plan, well received so far from some neighbors.
I think it's fantastic. I think the area needs it. Especially the businesses in Sherwood Forest Mall. I think it really helped the businesses and help the community as a whole.
It would be nice for this area to have a nice new apartment building, bring in more people. It would help them all.
Developer Highcal Group is proposing an 8-story building with 101 units for the southeast corner of Gainsborough and Limberlost. It would include commercial space for a daycare, replacing what's being described as an underutilized church with a daycare currently on the property. Ward Councillor Corinne Rahman says it's a good fit.
The owner of the lands is also the owner of the daycare. So it's a really interesting proposal from that perspective. We all know that we need more childcare here in London. So this, meets those kinds of needs.
The property would have 76 parking spaces.
Though we really need to look at underground parking, and we really need to work on lights so that traffic flow can work effectively.
With Gainsborough a major commuter route, this intersection can get very busy at times with traffic, particularly during the morning and afternoon rush hours. The rehab on Gainsborough plan for next year does include a pedestrian crossing. What it does not include is road widening.
I don't know if you look historically at every time Gainsborough gets talked about, it gets waffled on and it wins by a vote. We're a bottleneck city, and we're hard to grow out of that.
Rahman says while Gainsborough is not scheduled for widening, people will have opportunities for input in the mobility master plan. In the meantime, city councillors will consider the apartment proposal October 1st. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Provincial police are reporting a massive seizure near Simcoe, confiscating more than $50 million worth of illegal cannabis. According to OPP, more than 100,000 plants were seized and 950 pounds of cannabis buds. Police say they also seized several production assets like grow lights, machinery, and other equipment. They say 16 people face more than 30 charges. Canadian border agents say they recently seized millions of dollars worth of suspected cocaine at the Blue Water Bridge. They published these images saying nearly 200 kilograms of narcotics were seized from a commercial truck arriving in Canada last month. They say officers inspected the attached trailer and found 7 bags containing suspected cocaine, charging a 29-year-old man from Caledon. A jury in Simcoe has acquitted a man accused of stabbing his grandmother to death 2 years ago. The body of 90-year-old Marlene Wilson was found with stab wounds to her chest in Waterford back in February 2023. Police charged her 36-year-old grandson, Jordan Wilson, with second-degree murder. However, after hearing all the evidence at trial, the jury deliberated for 8 hours and returned with a not guilty verdict. During the trial, the court heard there were 3 other people living with Marlene Wilson at the time of her death. A man from Windsor has been convicted of terrorism today. The 22-year-old was charged after he applied to join an organization deemed a terrorist group in Canada. With more on the judge's decision, here's Michelle Molesky.
22-year-old Seth Bertrand had no comment as he raced from Superior Court Thursday. He had just been found guilty of terrorism because he applied online to join the Atomwaffen Division, which is on Canada's list of terrorist entities. Applying to join and offering to enhance their cause is enough to constitute terrorism, the federal prosecutor says.
It's not necessary that the activity actually be carried out or that he knows the specific activity that will ultimately be carried out.
Justice Maria Caracia ruled Bertrand knew AWD is a terrorist group. He offered his skills in the military to them and admitted he shared their views of white supremacy.
This was a legal question as to whether or not it was caught as criminal conduct.
The defense argued there was no written proof that AWD is a terrorist group, or any proof that AWD is the same as the National Socialist Order. They further argued that filling out an online application is not the same thing as taking actions on behalf of the group. The judge disagreed. The accused espoused the ideology that was anti-Semitic, anti-Black, and anti-LGBTQ, Justice Caracia said. He indicates in the application that he filed to join AWD-NSO that he wants to be a part of a group that is doing things.
Obviously, he's disappointed to a degree that he was convicted and that this will continue to hang over his head and that there's the possibility of incarceration. But, you know, there's no shock here. There's no feeling like you weren't heard.
Michelle Molesky, CTV News.
Provincial police in Norfolk County say they need help tracking down suspects accused of stealing $50,000 worth of aluminum from a local business. Police have released these images of the suspected thieves from Monday night in Middleton. They say 3 people loaded the aluminum onto a truck in the early morning hours, then drove off. They're asking anyone with information or surveillance footage to contact them. Police in the Bracebridge area say a man wanted in connection to an ongoing death and arson investigation has been confirmed dead. They say according to autopsy results, 29-year-old Mitchell Gray died from smoke inhalation. He was wanted for murder after police responded to report a gunfire on August 1st. Police say 2 people were found dead at the property that was in flames. They say the 2 victims had died of gunshot wounds. It's been a run to remember for a Canadian tennis star in the making. Victoria Mboko, just 18 years old, will be on center court tonight, taking on a former top-ranked opponent in the National Bank Open final. With more, here's Janice Golding.
This was the moment of victory. Burlington's Victoria Mboko winning a nail-biter to make it to the finals of the National Bank Open.
Congratulations, and you're going to the final.
Oh my God.
Canada's newest tennis star, playing the longest game of her career yesterday in a 2-hour, 46-minute-long tie-breaking match against the 9th-seeded Elena Rybakina.
This is one of the greatest moments for tennis in Canada, rivaling 2019 when Bianca won our tournament in Toronto. I've been saying it for a long time now. She's a future #1.
A thrilling semifinal match many called must-see TV, especially given Maboko had to overcome a first-set loss and an injured wrist.
She was down match point against Elena Rybakina last night and rallied to win in that tie break. It was an absolutely incredible match. We saw her, fall on her wrist early in the third set, and I think probably at that time a lot of people thought maybe this is the end, but her resilience under pressure has been phenomenal.
Maboko herself seemed surprised by the victory.
Unfortunately, I fell, but I had everyone supporting me and pushing me through. So without you guys, I don't think I would have been able to pull this through.
Crediting her fans for their support.
Well, I feel optimistic that, she's going to continue to advance.
It definitely inspires me to try harder and never give up like her. I'm pretty happy about this.
Being a professional tennis player here in our town is great. So we feel really happy and proud.
Yesterday's win moves the 18-year-old up to 34th in the world rankings after she began the year outside the top 300. The win also means Maboko will next play 4-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka of Japan in tonight's final.
Osaka is really, really good, yeah. But you know what? Osaka can be rattled, right? So you never know. I definitely think she has a chance.
A meteoric rise for a Burlington teen who was said, had anyone told her last year she was going to be in the final, she wouldn't have believed it. Yesterday's win extending her remarkable streak.
Janice Golding, CTV News.
When we come back, the impact for Canada and the world as Donald Trump's reciprocal tariffs take effect.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's latest.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvlondon.ca, your home for news.
Welcome back. President Donald Trump bragged today about the billions of dollars a month he expects to flow into the U.S. from dozens of countries hit by today's latest round of reciprocal tariffs. There is pushback, though, with several nations now angling to move away from trade with the U.S. Mike Couture has more on the impact for Canada and the global response.
Yes, we're having discussions with the Americans.
Prime Minister Carney wouldn't say when he'll next speak to U.S. President Donald Trump, but Ontario's premier didn't mince words when asked about how Canadians see the American leader.
He's probably the most disliked politician in the world in Canada.
In an interview on CNN, Doug Ford tried to explain to Americans that these tariffs are hurting them.
When you see 37,000 Americans have lost their jobs, that can't pay the rent or can't pay a mortgage, put food on their table, and this is just going to grow even more.
A new report from Yale University shows the current tariffs will hit American consumers.
We're expecting an adjustment of about over $2,000 to, their real household income and sort of purchasing power.
The impact could be felt in back-to-school shopping, as the tariffs will make shoes 40% more expensive, and the price of other clothes will rise by 38% because of import duties. Meantime, the impact on Canada's economy is being measured by the Royal Bank. In June, 92% of Canadian exports crossed into the U.S. duty-free because they are covered under the current trade agreement, leaving 8% subject to punishing tariffs.
That portion of trade is unfortunately facing an average tariff rate of 30%.
Still, the overall impact on the Canadian economy is relatively small at this point, but sectors like steel and aluminum continue to suffer. While campaigning ahead of his by-election in Alberta, Pierre Poilievre criticized Carney's handling of the trade talks.
He's been bending over backwards for the president and so far has gotten nothing in return.
Now, Prime Minister Carney continues to say he will speak to the U.S. president when it makes sense, but there is no clear indication of exactly when that could be. Mike Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
As Mike mentioned, Pierre Poilievre in Calgary today arguing Canada should lessen its reliance on the U.S. by speeding up major projects here in Canada.
We can't wait till everybody's on side. I mean, you know, there's some people out there who don't think Elvis is dead. We can't get everybody to agree on any basic fact, even the basic fact that we need a pipeline. So you're going to need national leadership, and yeah, that means that some people are going to protest, maybe chain themselves to a tree, but we have to push through that if we're ever going to get anything done.
Poilievre is campaigning right now ahead of a federal by-election in Alberta on August 18th. Advance voting will begin on that tomorrow. An adapted ballot has been created because roughly 200 candidates have signed up to compete, part of an electoral reform protest. Prime Minister Mark Carney met with Métis leaders today discussing their concerns about the federal government's Bill C-5. The legislation fast-tracks major projects and has faced no shortage of pushback. With more, here's Abigail Beeman.
Thank you for coming. Prime Minister Mark Carney said the government is listening to Métis people now, citing their work creating original trade networks across the land.
Part of a process of creating new trade networks, new forms of commerce in Canada, both with full recognition this time, full recognition of Métis contributions and full Métis access.
Métis leaders positive after the meeting. Summer summits held as a response to friction over the rushed passage of C-5, the Building Canada bill, not as much from Métis as other Indigenous groups, but Métis organizations certainly have questions.
As long as, you know, Canada is going to consult with us and make sure that our Indigenous rights are protected, we're ready to go.
This was a great start, and we need to have more dialogue like this.
We can't go there if Ontario is in that room.
Meanwhile, the Manitoba Métis Federation refused to attend, saying Wednesday Carney invited what it considers to be illegitimate organizations.
If you want to come and sit down with my cabinet and a government-to-government relationship, we will meet. But if you want to insult us, then we'll see each other in a different political realm in the future.
We've had good engagement directly with the Manitoba Métis, and that will continue.
The Métis Nation of Ontario says Manitoba is putting forward a new and false narrative. Meanwhile, the Métis Nation of British Columbia also refused attendance because it was only invited as an online observer. This was the last of 3 summer summits the Prime Minister held with Indigenous groups, First Nations, Inuit, and now Métis. Carney says the goal is to have both the Major Projects Office and the Indigenous Advisory Council up and running by Labor Day. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Meteorologist Gary Archibald with me tonight. And Gary, as we look ahead to the weekend, a warm day here in London today, and the daytime highs creeping higher as we get closer.
You're right about that. Good evening, Carlyle. Good evening, folks. Temperatures could get into the low 30s come the weekend, and the humidity just made it feel that much warmer. In fact, today's high, 28 degrees, couple of degrees warmer than our average high of 26, as you see here, looking at the almanac. And by the way, the days are getting shorter, right, as we have reached the peak through the summer season, and fall is rounding up. More on that in just a moment. 26 degrees at the airport. It's been mostly sunny. Humidity does make it feel warmer, and earlier today we were in that 32 to 34 mark. I'm anticipating a warm evening tonight. The air quality has improved because the winds did pick up yesterday, late in the day through the evening, but there's still some fine particulate pollutants, including the smoke, in the air. So just be cautious of any outdoor activities. 30 degrees in Thunder Bay. It's warmer in the northwest than it is in parts of the southern tier of the province. The prairies heating up, save for Alberta. And of course, we are still looking at some scattered showers. Parts of upper Michigan seeing a good blast of daytime heating thunderstorms erupting. And with that, we could still see the same for us, although it looks like the instability over the next 24 to 72 hours is limited. Again, another brush of isolated, very scattered thunderstorms partially over Lake Huron itself, moving into the Great Bruce Peninsula tonight into tomorrow morning, Georgian Bay proper, and then further east from there. Tonight is an interesting night in that temperatures do fall off to some degree. We'll be getting down to about 20 degrees by 11:30, but it will still feel like about 26 to 27. And speaking of the rains, again, this projection, simulations really not providing a lot of feedback. The models do suffer from projecting thunderstorms with daytime heating. The dynamics have never been great to work them out. It's just how it is. But we can tell you that it's going to be warm and humid, and at least those ingredients are in place as we head towards tomorrow afternoon and again for the weekend. Tonight, as mentioned, warm. 20 feels like about 25 to 27 with the winds calm through the overnight. We're waking up to sunshine or mostly sunny conditions in the great city of London, going up to 30. The winds do pick up in the afternoon, say 20 with higher gusts, more sunshine and warmer still as we go from Saturday to Sunday. Monday through to Thursday next week, we're likely to see more clouds moving in. A couple of fronts could be the catalyst for showers there. Daytime heating could mean some thunderstorms, as mentioned. Mount Forest, Shelburne, Wyerton, Owen Sound, Tobermory could be into it. A high of 29, feels like 37. Sunny on Saturday, Sunday, 28 to 30, and then just cooling off next weekend, clouding over. Some thunderstorms a week from now, a possibility. That's a look at your weather. Carlyle?
Gary, thanks very much. Coming up, when travel insurance doesn't come through, the Canadian woman facing a hefty bill after her medical claim was denied.
Prize Down got moved to a new time at 7:10, and you have a chance to win something really great this week.
We want to send you to see the Hunter Brothers at the Paris Fair on August 30th, the ultimate send-off to summer 2025. But they're not just regular tickets, they're VIP tickets. Good luck.
Officials with auto giant Toyota are predicting a substantial hit to their profits, citing American tariffs. According to the Japanese automaker, the expected losses are in the $14 billion range on cars exported to the U.S. Toyota also cut its expected full-year operating profit by 16%. Meanwhile, General Motors has projected a tariff loss of $5 to $7 billion, while Ford expects a $4 billion hit. A Canadian woman says she's been hit with a medical bill of nearly $300,000. She says she was visiting a friend in Florida a year ago and needed medical care. As Pat Foran reports, her medical insurance claim has since been denied.
I was heartbroken and astonished.
Myra Nelson of Richmond Hill says it was in January of 2023 when she went to Boca Raton, Florida to help a friend.
I went to the United States to help a friend sell her condominium in Florida.
Before she went, she paid for a travel medical insurance policy. In Florida, she became ill, suffered cardiac arrest, and ended up in the hospital for 2 weeks.
Now they want all this money from me, although I did have medical health insurance.
Her claim was denied because she had a kidney condition, something she didn't mention because she doesn't take medication for it. In August of 2024, more than a year after she was hospitalized, she got a bill for almost $300,000.
I'm 90 years of age. I'm a senior on fixed income, and I did not do anything wrong.
She was insured with Manulife, a spokesperson told CTV News. Because this matter is now before the courts, we're not able to comment at this time. However, it's important for travel insurance customers to be aware of everything they know about their health to ensure they get the right coverage.
These types of situations are incredibly unfortunate.
The Travel Health Insurance Association says it's important to make sure you disclose every possible health issue when purchasing travel medical insurance.
There might be situations, for instance, where you might think, well, it's not a serious condition. The important thing is always disclose.
If in doubt, check with your doctor before traveling.
To make sure that they're not making notations in your file that might be uncovered at time of claim.
I just need help.
Nelson says she is stressed and uncertain how to deal with the massive bill.
I'm very upset about it. I cannot cope with it. It's very hard coping with the fact that I owe all this money and I can't pay it.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Canada's main stock index closed down today while American markets were mixed. The TSX fell 160 points. In New York, the Dow dropped 224. The Nasdaq gained 73. Canadian dollar down 0.04 of a cent. On commodity markets, gold gained more than $20 an ounce and oil lost 47 cents a barrel. Later on CTV News, cross-border tensions may be running high, but on the East Coast, two communities are making an effort to maintain old friendships. Welcome back. An impromptu event is happening right now at a local community center hosted by the London Fire Department. For more on this, we're joined live by Lauren Stallone, who's at the Earl Nichols Arena, an event they're calling Beat the Heat. Lauren, over to you.
Well, Carlyle, there are so many excited kids here today enjoying this fire truck, which, as you can see behind me, they're using their hoses to make a splash pad. Now, I am joined by Chief Colin Schewel. Now, Colin, what made you decide to do this?
This is a great opportunity for our crews to get out in the community and just have fun with the community and promote fire safety. So our crews are here tonight. As you can see, the kids behind us are having a great time. And if we can interact with the parents and the kids at the same time and promote fire safety in London, it's a tremendous opportunity for both the families and our firefighters.
Absolutely. And there are hundreds of kids here already, and they just keep coming. Were you expecting this turnout?
This is our first time we've tried this in London. Our friends in St. Thomas, as well as up in Barrie, have done this for a number of years. And it's a great opportunity to work with our community. And this is an overwhelming success for our first time. We will be on August 21st up at Stronach in the north end to do this. So we're expecting it to be even bigger then and even bigger next year. But phenomenal crowd out tonight.
Totally. And what are you expecting the kids to gain most out of this experience?
We really want to show them that the firefighters are approachable, fire safety messages, ask as many questions they want, and when this is all over, they can see the fire truck and really have an interaction with our fire crews in a positive manner rather than when we may show up, if and whenever we have 911. So it's a great opportunity, great environment, everyone's having fun. The weather is fantastic, so we're really looking forward to having many more of these in the community around the City of London.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Colin. Now, Carlyle, I know you are in the air conditioned, nice and cool, but I'm hot, so I'm going to give it a try. Can you hold my mic?
Absolutely.
As far as summer assignment goes, that's about as good as it gets. Lauren Stallone, live for us tonight. Thank you, Lauren. A change in protocol for Canada Post delivery workers. Mail carriers will no longer raise the flag on mailboxes indicating a delivery has been made. Katie Griffin has more on the decision and the reaction.
The postman comes, puts the mail inside, closes the door, and brings this up.
For many, that's the way it's been in rural areas for years. Not anymore.
Whether it's to save time or money, I'm not sure, but it's not doing the workers nor the corporation any good.
David Carrier received a letter from Canada Post indicating delivery agents would no longer raise the flag on mailboxes when mail is delivered.
And it seems a little bit odd that given it a time when Canada Post is struggling to survive and wanting large raises and wanting to gain more of the market share, that they're going to offer less service and less convenience to the public when they deliver their mail.
A resident in Somerstown near Cornwall received this handwritten note from a carrier saying they were no longer allowed to raise the flag. So sorry, please check box regularly.
In a letter to rural customers, Canada Post said after a review it was determined that the purpose of the signal device was for the customer to indicate to the delivery agent that there was outgoing mail.
Canada Post writes in a statement that the flag is not meant to inform customers mail is in the mailbox. It acknowledged some do it as a courtesy, but that it is not a national delivery process. For Carrier, it doesn't make sense.
I've spent my whole life living rurally, and I don't know of very many people who put mail outgoing and use that indicator. But a lot of people here have a half-a-mile laneway, and they look out, they don't see a flag, they don't go out. If they see the flag, they go out. So a lot of these people are older, and it takes some effort to go out and get that mail.
Katie Griffin, CTV News.
A new study suggests kids and young adults who spend too much time staring at screens have a greater chance of developing cardiovascular diseases. Danish researchers say they tracked screen and sleep habits of more than 1,000 10 and 18-year-olds. They say the kids who spent excessive hours in front of devices were at higher risk for health issues like high blood pressure and cholesterol, as well as diabetes and insulin resistance. Their analysis found each additional hour of daily screen time increased the risk of disease.
We are counting down to the weekend. We've got you covered with events going on in and around the city. We're joined by KP for Mornings on 97.5 Virgin Radio. She has your London list. Let's head downtown Friday night.
Yes, we've got London Majors kicking off the weekend. As always, first pitch is 7:35 as they take on Guelph. So definitely get down there, get a hot dog, and cheer on your favorite team.
Yeah, just hanging out in the ballpark on a Friday night. There's
100%.
nothing better than
the
that.
lights over the city. Oh, so good.
I love it. Outdoor movie nights continue.
Yeah, good movies this weekend too. We've got The Wild Robot. Oh, if you haven't seen that, I cried. It's so good. It's so good.
I haven't seen it.
The Lego Movie, another option. So many great movies. So this happens at different parks all over the city. Basically, you go, you bring your lawn chair, your blankets, your snacks. It's free. Sometimes they have little groups selling like popcorn and stuff for charity too. But it's london.ca for the full list and lineup of what movies playing where.
All right, Londonlicious continues, but it wraps up this weekend, so this is your last chance.
Yes, Sunday is the final day. I've had the chance to go to a couple of the restaurants on there, and it's been so good. But again, your chance to go and check off some of those bucket list items and bucket list restaurants that you want to check out at a discounted price too, and 2- and 3-course meal options available. It's londonlicious.ca to see that full list of participating restaurants.
And there's also an event, a pizza night in support of Growing Chefs.
So it's Growing Chefs. They are so fantastic. Their location on King Street. They're having a big pizza party. It's called That's Amore, and it's a Friday night vibe going until 9 o'clock, and it is a wood oven pizza fundraiser. It is so delicious. These pizzas, next level, so definitely go check that one out.
And you have to register for that in advance.
You do, yes.
All right, and anything else to wrap up the weekend? I know there's something in Sparta that everyone should be checking out.
Yeah, so it is the Sunflower Festival at the Sparta Lavender Farm, and it looks so beautiful. It's going to be lots of vendors. There's some food, live music, just a really, really fun time, and very Insta-worthy too. So go and get a beautiful sunflower bouquet while you're there.
And there's another cool festival going on at the Guy Lombardo Pavilion.
Yeah, I believe this is the first one ever. It's Horizon Fest. It's the ultimate Mediterranean experience. So it's happening Friday and Saturday. You can go check it out. Prices vary, but there's cocktails, there's artisan food, there's tons of music and beats, and it's just going to be just a big party happening in such a beautiful place too. So very excited to check that one out. It's on my to-do list for this weekend, and you can check out their Instagram for all the details.
Sounds like a good time. That's your London list with KP, and we'll see you next time.
Let's take a look at our CTV News weather snapshot. Thanks to Anthony Daniel, as always, for showing us some great sky cloud images just like this one. We'll see more sky than cloud over the next few days, and temperatures are likely to stay above seasonal by a few degrees. Heat and humidity combined will make it feel like 35 plus. It's going to be a sunny weekend. Will it hold into next week? I'll break down the complete weather forecast picture coming up.
Russian authorities say Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump have agreed to meet, likely within the next few days. That revelation comes on the eve of Trump's deadline for Russia to agree on a ceasefire in Ukraine. The potential meeting would follow talks between an American envoy and the Russian president yesterday. Trump has said he plans to meet with both Russian and Ukrainian presidents to discuss ending the war. An American actor who once played Superman on screen now says he's joining the U.S. Immigration, Customs and Enforcement Agency.
I felt it was important to join with our first responders to help secure the safety of all Americans, not just talk about it. So I joined up.
Dean Cain is encouraging members of the public to join following an ICE recruitment campaign. He says he'll be sworn in as an ICE agent as soon as possible. Wildfire officials in Western Canada are warning the public about fake images purporting to show burning hillsides. As Isabella Zavarisi reports, the pictures are AI generated and don't reflect the reality of the wildfire situation.
captivating images of wildfires. The photos so realistic that those in charge of wildfire management are worried they could impact how people respond to natural disasters.
People might make decisions based on those images, or be more fearful because of those images, or not take our warnings seriously.
The photos are generated by artificial intelligence. The BC Wildfire Service says it noticed them in the last few weeks on Facebook during the peak of the wildfire season.
Wildfires are already, or can be, a really scary time for people. There can be a lot of anxiety around that. People can be unsure about what to do or what's happening. So anytime that we see potentially adding more fear or anxiety when it's not needed, we're concerned about that.
This is an AI image of the Drought Hill wildfire in Peachland. Here's what it actually looks like.
Often the images that we've seen are making the fires that they're purporting to be about look way worse than they are in reality.
In January, as wildfires tore through Los Angeles, AI images of the iconic Hollywood sign engulfed in flames were shared online.
You know, it's irresponsible for people to put out these types of images. You can be costing people's lives because of putting out fake news like that.
One UBC scientist says he worries AI will be misused.
I predict that, it's only going to become harder from here. That the use of these technologies will become much more pervasive because it's becoming accessible and the models are only getting better. And I think the awareness and the education around these should really be happening right now.
So the message that I have to British Columbians is please be cautious of where you get your information. Be aware of AI-generated content.
The province is urging people to turn to trusted sources of information instead, such as local media, governments, and First Nations. Isabella Zavarisi, CTV News, Vancouver.
London's top stories.
We have breaking news tonight out of Ottawa. The latest in the
breaking news alerts.
I'm tracking an area of severe weather. It'll start.
And watch live.
A development now to a story from City Hall we brought you.
Download the CTV News app.
Welcome back. A long-standing mystery about a painting in Northern Ontario has been solved. Eric Tashner has more on the work of art and where it came from.
It's absolutely remarkable.
This portrait of a young woman in uniform of the Queen Alexandra's Imperial Military Nursing Service has puzzled historians and locals for decades. But now the painting has been identified. It's of First World War nurse Christina Clinton Gordon.
Whether they're soldiers or they were nurses, they were people who dedicated their lives to serving our country.
The painting was on display at the Royal Canadian Legion office for years before going into storage, where it was later rediscovered in the early 2000s during cleaning.
We never really knew where it came from or how it got to our Legion, but we hung it there.
At the time, there was only one clue, a handwritten note on the back reading Toronto, Canada, May 1917, with no name or signature. After it was restored in Ottawa, an inquiry to the Canadian War Museum yielded no results.
And then Carol Purdy, the curator here at the time in 2008, recognized the uniform as being the same as in our collection, and then started to bring out pictures and started to compare the pictures to the picture of the nurse, and they look quite similar.
Photos show Gordon served overseas in England and France, treating injured soldiers on the battlefield from 1916 to 1919. After the war, she moved to Callander and later married Reeve Ken Morrison.
It's giving a voice and a name and a face to somebody who dedicated part of their life to serving our country overseas and to be able to give it a home.
The Legion chose to donate the painting to the museum, where it will be displayed alongside Gordon's uniform and wartime photos, helping to tell the story of the local woman's contribution to the war effort.
It's only natural it should return home,
ensuring that her service won't be forgotten. Eric Tashner, CTV News, Callander.
And finally tonight, two East Coast border towns coming together and hugging it out. Nick Moore has more on the summertime tradition, trying to break the tensions between two countries.
The Canadians came from their side, the Americans from their side, meeting in the middle to sing their national anthems, shake hands, and then mingle.
This has been a long tradition.
There was a lot of hugging, too. We Hug It Out is actually the theme for this year's International Homecoming Festival between St. Stephen, New Brunswick and Calais, Maine, leaning into these interesting times.
And it's just good to get back and understand that we are one community, and it's good to see that we are one community.
We have a lot of family on both sides, and to have us all together, it's just heartwarming.
The meet and greet on the Ferry Point International Bridge has kicked off this festival since 1974, and organizers weren't quite sure what to expect for 2025 given the trade war.
To have people come out from both sides of the border to celebrate this occasion, especially this year, I just think there was a lot of questions how things would go, but I'm just so pleased.
It's certainly a nice salve to some of the frustrations and challenges we've been feeling.
New Brunswick Premier Susan Holt and Maine State Representative Arthur Mingo were some of the dignitaries who took part.
These are two communities that we need to make sure that the friendship stays in place no matter what's happening in other parts of the world.
It's just nostalgia. It's something I've always known and something I hope keeps going.
It's great to see people of all ages, and just seeing us all get along is amazing.
It's a really fantastic event for everybody in the community.
The International Homecoming Festival continues until Sunday night with fireworks over the St. Croix River. Nick Moore, CTV News, on the border of Calais, Maine, St. Stephen, New Brunswick.
And that's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. I'm back tonight with your late news at 11. Bye for now.